Chapter 1552. Are you blind or have a bad memory? The two were transported away, returning to the waiting area. Lin Moyu and Zhuang Bai were bathed in beams of light, and their conditions quickly improved. The severely injured Wei Bowen's wounds healed in an instant, and he leaped up, full of energy. Zhuang Bai also regained his spirits, with all aftereffects disappearing. Bathed in the light, they returned to their peak state. This way, they didn't have to worry about injuries from battles, and they could maintain their best condition for each fight. Lin Moyu smiled.
How do you feel?
Zhuang Bai laughed heartily.
Great.
At this moment, he couldn't describe his feelings with any other word but
great.
The feeling of wielding God-sovereign level power was something only those who experienced it could understand. Zhuang Bai had won and successfully advanced to the top 4. Lin Moyu smiled.
It depends on your luck. If you're lucky, you might get second place.
By now, the top 4 were almost determined. Lin Moyu, Qing Fei, and Zhuang Bai were confirmed. The last one was Dongfang Zhe. He had the upper hand, and Shui Xilan's puppet army was heavily damaged. Shui Xilan had to withdraw 3 minor God-sovereign level puppets. Her defense was gradually being breached by Dongfang Zhe, and she was already on the defensive. Losing was just a matter of time. There was almost no chance of a comeback. Qing Fei walked over, also watching the match between Dongfang Zhe and Shui Xilan. Qing Fei said,
Dongfang Zhe isn't using his full strength.
Lin Moyu nodded.
If he used the power of the Lost Star River, he could have ended the fight long ago.
Zhuang Bai said,
He must be holding back to deal with you. If he gets matched with you, I'll return the violent sword to you.
Lin Moyu laughed.
No need, dealing with him is no big deal.
Qing Fei also smiled slightly. Zhuang Bai was puzzled.
What's so funny?
Qing Fei explained what had happened in the second layer, and Zhuang Bai finally understood the extent of Lin Moyu's summoned creatures. No wonder Lin Moyu didn't need the violent sword. He really didn't need it. With God-sovereign level summoned creatures, no matter how much Dongfang Zhe struggled, it was useless.
I concede.
Shui Xilan's clear voice rang out, and she was then transported away from the arena. Her ice defense was on the verge of collapsing, and she surrendered at the last moment. After returning, Shui Xilan joined the group. Chu Xiong asked with concern,
Are you okay?
Shui Xilan shook her head.
I'm fine. I wanted to force out his trump card, but I failed.
Lin Moyu smiled.
It's not important.
With the 4 matches over, the Human Emperor Network announced that the next round would begin in 5 minutes. The semifinals and the matches for 5th to 8th place would take place simultaneously, without distinction. This rule dashed Zhuang Bai's plan to lend the violent sword to Chu Xiong. The matchups were announced. Semifinals. Number 1 Lin Moyu versus number 3 Dongfang Zhe. Number 2 Qing Fei versus number 4 Zhuang Bai. Matches for 5th to 8th place. Number 5 Chu Xiong versus number 13 Shui Xing. Number 6 Wei Bowen versus number 11 Shui Xilan. The winner would advance. In the semifinals, the winners would compete for 1st and 2nd place, while the losers would compete for 3rd and 4th place. The audience's attention was once again focused on Lin Moyu. As the biggest dark horse of this competition, Lin Moyu had been surprising everyone since his appearance. Before the competition, he was already quite famous, and now he was a household name. People from all star domains were discussing Lin Moyu.
This time, Lin Moyu's opponent is Dongfang Zhe from Divine City. Dongfang Zhe shouldn't concede, right? Of course not. Lin Moyu is the seed player recommended by the Vermilion Bird Star Domain's Domain Lord, while Dongfang Zhe is the seed player from Divine City. They are from different factions. After the competition, Lin Moyu will likely enter Divine City as per tradition. Dongfang Zhe might be his senior. Lin Moyu wouldn't go easy on him, right? Are you kidding? Lin Moyu isn't that kind of person. In this kind of competition, going easy would be foolish.
In the audience, even the guests from other races were paying attention to Lin Moyu. They were here not only to watch the competition but also to gather information on the new human geniuses. Lin Moyu as a dark horse was especially noteworthy. Several god sovereigns discussed.
Lin Moyu versus Dongfang Zhe, Vermilion Bird Star Domain versus Divine City. Who will win? Dongfang Zhe is quite famous in Divine City. He has been honing his skills at the minor god sovereign level for years, not advancing to god sovereign just for this competition. Although Lin Moyu can summon minor god sovereign level creatures, the gap within the minor god sovereign level is vast. These summoned creatures alone aren't enough to deal with Dongfang Zhe. I also think Dongfang Zhe has a better chance. Besides his raw strength, I've heard Divine City has a treasure specifically for dealing with summoners. Do you think Dongfang Zhe will use it? Who knows? If he does, Lin Moyu might have no chance. Look at Dongfang Zhe's confident smile. He seems well prepared to deal with summoners.
Most god sovereigns believed Dongfang Zhe had the upper hand. They thought Lin Moyu was strong but still inferior to Dongfang Zhe. They hadn't seen what happened in the second layer. Otherwise, they wouldn't say that. In the arena, Dongfang Zhe looked at Lin Moyu with a confident smile, as if victory was assured. Lin Moyu found it strange.
Does this guy really think he can beat me?
Dongfang Zhe said loudly.
Lin Moyu, you're indeed strong. As a summoner, your advantages in previous matches were too obvious. I even suspected the rules were tailored for you, as every rule seemed to favor you. Fortunately, this final round uses the traditional one-on-one format, so your advantage is gone.
Lin Moyu tilted his head, puzzled by Dongfang Zhe's words.
Is this guy crazy?
He asked.
What are you trying to say?
Dongfang Zhe sneered.
You'll find out soon enough. This match is mine to win.
As the match began, Dongfang Zhe took out a disc-like object. With a shout, his law domain expanded, and the disc shattered. The shattered disc turned into countless light spots, merging into his law domain. Dongfang Zhe's law domain transformed, becoming intangible and vast, covering the entire arena and beyond. Lin Moyu felt a slight pressure, as if something was sealed. Dongfang Zhe sneered.
This is the Forbidden Law Disc. Merged with my law domain, it can prohibit all spells.
The Forbidden Law Disc prohibited all spells. Lin Moyu remained calm, testing and finding his spells indeed unusable. He noticed Dongfang Zhe was also affected. Lin Moyu smirked.
Using a method that harms both sides, impressive.
Dongfang Zhe laughed.
Unlike you, I can still fight without spells.
Lin Moyu suddenly said.
Are you blind or have a bad memory?
Dongfang Zhe was puzzled, not understanding Lin Moyu's words. The next second, he understood. Lin Moyu appeared before him like lightning, a golden fist growing larger in his vision. 1553, 1553. Chapter 1553. Shock after shock. The golden light filled his vision, and the rapidly enlarging fist left Dongfang Zhe stunned. By the time he reacted, Lin Moyu's fist had already landed squarely on his face. His head throbbed with pain, and his entire body was sent flying uncontrollably. Lin Moyu caught up to Dongfang Zhe with even greater speed, delivering a flurry of punches and kicks, showing no mercy. Dongfang Zhe screamed in agony, trying to fight back, but he found himself unable to use any spells. The Forbidden Law Disc was a double-edged sword, sealing not only Lin Moyu's spells but also his own. Dongfang Zhe realized he had overlooked Lin Moyu's physical prowess. Lin Moyu possessed a powerful body, comparable to the mysterious physical form of the War God Hall's great strength, far surpassing his own. Faced with Lin Moyu's relentless storm of punches and kicks, Dongfang Zhe had no chance to retaliate. Dongfang Zhe roared, and a hazy, mystical Law Star River appeared above his head. The Law Star River was far less clear than that of a true god sovereign. Dongfang Zhe had only undergone a partial baptism, so his ability to harness the power of the Law Star River was limited. However, the Law Star River was still a power of the god sovereign realm. Even a portion of it was enough to dominate all minor god sovereigns. The Law Star River poured down, its immense power crashing into Lin Moyu, sending him flying. At this point, Dongfang Zhe's face was bruised and swollen, and his bones were mostly cracked. Fortunately, he was a minor god sovereign and could withstand it. Had it been half a minute later, his body would have been completely destroyed by Lin Moyu. Dongfang Zhe, feeling a lingering fear, thought,
I miscalculated this time, forgetting about your powerful body. I must admit, you are a formidable opponent, stronger than any minor god sovereign I've encountered.
As he spoke, the Law Star River flowed down, enveloping Dongfang Zhe and protecting him. Lin Moyu waved his arm.
Your body is too weak. Fighting you is no fun.
Dongfang Zhe snorted.
Who cultivates their body these days? No matter how strong your body is, what's the use? Now that spells are sealed, I can still harness the power of the Law Star River. What do you have left?
The Law Star River was not a spell but an ability. With spells sealed, Lin Moyu couldn't possibly withstand the Law Star River. The Law Star River rapidly expanded, its waves surging with immense power. The Law Star River had many uses and was one of the primary means of combat for god sovereigns. Although Dongfang Zhe was not a god sovereign, his ability to manipulate the Law Star River was limited, but it was enough to deal with Lin Moyu. Unfortunately, he saw no panic in Lin Moyu's eyes. Lin Moyu's calm demeanor made Dongfang Zhe feel uneasy. He decided not to delay any longer and directed the immense power of the Law Star River towards Lin Moyu. In an instant, the entire law domain was filled with surging waves, and the attack swept towards Lin Moyu from all directions. Lin Moyu remained unflustered, with no reason to panic. The Forbidden Law Disc had indeed sealed his spells, but not all of them. At least the skeletal hell could still be used. This spell, led by infinite fusion, and based on the Chaos Law, combined multiple stellar-level spells, making it high-level and unaffected by the seal. Additionally, his two origin spells were also unaffected by the seal. Strong Soldiers and Gathering Power, the two origin spells, were of such high level that the seal had no effect on them. Although he couldn't summon the undead army, it could still provide power for Gathering Power. A sword appeared in Lin Moyu's hand, a low-level True God Realm magical treasure.
Dongfang Zhe sneered.
A low-level True God Realm magical treasure, what's the use?
The next second, his eyes widened in shock. Lin Moyu's aura suddenly intensified, reaching the minor god sovereign realm almost instantly.
What kind of spell is this? How did you suddenly become stronger? Why wasn't this spell sealed?
Dongfang Zhe couldn't believe it. There were indeed spells that could instantly boost strength, and quite a few of them. However, these spells typically only boosted 1 or 2 levels, with the best boosting 4 levels. But Lin Moyu had directly jumped from the 4th stage of the God King realm to the minor god sovereign realm, crossing 6 levels in an instant. Dongfang Zhe felt a moment of panic but quickly regained his composure.
So what if you reach the minor god sovereign realm? You still can't withstand the Law Star River's attack. It must be a talent, not a spell. His talent allows him to instantly boost his realm. That must be it.
Dongfang Zhe seemed to find an explanation, regaining his confidence. At this moment, the Law Star River's attack reached Lin Moyu. Dongfang Zhe roared, and the Law Star River enveloped Lin Moyu, its powerful attack crashing down on him.
Die!
Dongfang Zhe roared in his heart, fully controlling the Law Star River to attack Lin Moyu. Suddenly, a massive pressure surged, and the waves of the Law Star River were repelled, flowing backward. Dongfang Zhe let out a muffled groan, his body also being sent flying for nearly 1,000 miles. He stood high in the sky, looking at Lin Moyu in shock and disbelief. Not only him, but all the god sovereigns in the audience stood up, their eyes wide, staring at Lin Moyu in astonishment. The guests from other races, also god sovereigns, were equally shocked, unable to speak. Lin Moyu's aura was like a dragon, spiraling into the sky. Above his head, a gray-white Law Star River shone brightly. Lin Moyu's Law Star River was different from Dongfangzai's. His was incredibly solid, indistinguishable from that of a true god sovereign. Compared to Dongfangzai's illusory Law Star River, Lin Moyu's was far superior. The Law Star River roared with waves, emitting a thunderous sound.
Dongfangse muttered in disbelief.
How is this possible? How could you reach the God-sovereign realm?
From the God King realm to the God Sovereign realm in one step, what kind of talent was this? How could such a talent exist in the world? He couldn't believe it, not even in death. Not only him, but even Su Laozu in the Beyond realm found it hard to believe. Lin Moyu had shocked everyone time and again, each time more terrifying than the last. With spells sealed, facing Dongfangzai's Law Star River, Lin Moyu could only counter with his own Law Star River. Using his origin spells and the power of billions of undead, he directly pushed himself to the God-sovereign realm. His soul had already undergone the baptism of the Law Star River, allowing him to fully harness its power. At this moment, his combat power was no different from that of a newly ascended God-sovereign. In fact, if he continued to push without restraint, he could be even stronger than a newly ascended God-sovereign. However, his current state was more than enough to deal with Dongfangzai. Upon reaching the God-sovereign realm, the seal of the Forbidden Law Disc lost its effect. The Forbidden Law Disc could only seal spells below the God-sovereign realm. Once he reached the God-sovereign realm, the seal was nullified. Lin Moyu didn't bother explaining further. To someone like Dongfangzai, explanations were a waste of breath. With a light swing of the low-level True God Realm sword in his hand, Lin Moyu didn't use his full strength or the power of the Law Star River. As for spells, although the seal was broken, he didn't use them. He couldn't use too much power, or he might accidentally kill Dongfangzai. He only used the most basic God-sovereign power, sending out a sword energy. The low-level True God Realm sword in his hand shattered into powder with the swing. Dongfangzai had no way to dodge Lin Moyu's attack and was instantly engulfed by the sword energy. 1554, 1554. Chapter 1554. The highlight moment of the Vermilion Bird Star domain. Dongfangzai was filled with terror, feeling like he was about to die, truly about to die. When he came to his senses, he found himself back on the resting platform. The Human Emperor Network was announcing Lin Moyu's victory and advancement to the finals. Dongfangzai's consciousness finally cleared completely. He knew he had lost, and he had lost fair and square. He had his trump cards, but so did Lin Moyu. In the second layer, Lin Moyu hadn't even revealed his trump cards. Now he understood that Lin Moyu's greatest strength wasn't summoning the skeleton army, but his own power. Thinking of Lin Moyu's final transformation into a god sovereign, with the Law Star River above his head, Dongfangzai felt a chill in his heart. He felt a sense of despair, realizing that living in the same era as someone like Lin Moyu was a kind of sorrow. He looked to the side and saw Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu also noticed Dongfangzai's gaze and turned to look at him. Their eyes met in the air, and Dongfangzai bowed to Lin Moyu.
Thank you, junior brother Lin, for showing mercy.
If Lin Moyu hadn't held back with that last sword strike, he would have been injured. But now he wasn't hurt at all, and he was aware of this. Lin Moyu calmly said,
Senior brother Dongfang, there's no need to be polite. We are just competing, not life and death enemies.
Dongfangzai smiled and said no more. Previously, he had many opinions and much dissatisfaction with Lin Moyu. But now he was completely convinced. The gap between them was too vast. They were not on the same level at all. The battle between Lin Moyu and Dongfangzai ended, causing a huge stir outside the arena.
Wow, Lin Moyu actually summoned the Lost Star River at the end. How did he do that? Isn't he at the God King realm? How could he summon the Lost Star River? What's impossible about it? Maybe he has some secret technique. I don't think it's a secret technique. It could be an extremely powerful talent.
No matter what, Lin Moyu had shown the entire human race that he could elevate his combat power to the God-sovereign realm at any time. There were quite a few spies from other races within the human race, many of whom were controlled by various secret techniques. They would inevitably pass on this information. By then, there would be many who would try to kill him. Lin Moyu was well aware of this. He knew that even if he only displayed the combat power of a minor god sovereign, those people would still come to kill him. Since that was the case, he might as well show even more strength. He was telling others that if they wanted to kill him, they would need to send stronger people. In a situation where those at the Beyond Realm couldn't make a move, only god sovereigns could target him. However, those peak god sovereigns like Zhu Tian were also monitored by the human race. Even high-level god sovereigns were under surveillance. Both sides restricted each other, making it difficult for anyone to act easily. So, those who would come to kill him would only be low or mid-level god sovereigns. Lin Moyu wasn't afraid of these people. Against low-level god sovereigns, he could completely counterkill them. Against mid-level god sovereigns, even if he couldn't counterkill, he could still protect himself. Similarly, those who wanted to kill him had to be prepared to be killed themselves. The wealth of a god sovereign was far greater than that of a god king. As his combat power continued to increase, his elemental liches were falling behind and needed better materials for upgrades. Better materials required more points. Lin Moyu realized that he was still very poor, extremely poor. His eyes sparkled as he thought to himself,
Killing god sovereigns should be quite profitable.
Su Laozu had been observing Lin Moyu and noticed the look in his eyes, muttering to himself,
This kid seems to be up to something. He's deliberately exposing his strength. What is he planning?
The battle between Qing Fei and Zhuang Bai also concluded after a while. The result was somewhat unexpected but within Lin Moyu's expectations. The two exchanged a few symbolic moves, and then Qing Fei conceded. She directly gave the second place to Zhuang Bai. Qing Fei chose Zhuang Bai over the ranking. After the match, Zhuang Bai looked a bit conflicted. Lin Moyu patted Zhuang Bai's shoulder.
Congratulations.
Zhuang Bai was puzzled.
Congratulations for what?
Lin Moyu smiled.
Senior brother Zhuang and senior sister Qin Fei make a good match.
Zhuang Bai whispered.
Junior sister Qin Fei is very outstanding.
Lin Moyu nodded.
No need to whisper. Senior sister Qin Fei can hear you.
He gestured with his eyes, and Zhuang Bai realized that Qing Fei had already appeared beside him. He immediately thanked her.
Junior sister, thank you.
Qing Fei smiled but said nothing. Lin Moyu said,
Senior brother Zhuang, give the violent sword to senior sister Qin Fei.
The implication was clear. Since she gave you the second place, you should give her the third place. Zhuang Bai quickly handed the violent sword to Qing Fei. After all, he had no use for it now. Competing with Lin Moyu for first place was out of the question. Even with the violent sword, he would still lose to Lin Moyu. Qing Fei accepted the violent sword without hesitation. After using a detection spell, she understood its purpose. With it, she was confident she could defeat Dongfang Zhe. Previously, she wasn't sure, but now she had no doubts. The matches for 5th to 8th place also concluded. Chu Xiong and Wei Bowen won their matches and would compete for 5th and 6th place, while Shui Xing and Shui Xilan would compete for 7th and 8th place. The 4-star domains competition had reached this point, and the rankings were almost set. First place undoubtedly belonged to Lin Moyu, as Zhuang Bai wouldn't compete with him. The 3rd and 4th places would be decided between Qing Fei and Dongfang Zhe. Chu Xiong and Wei Bowen would compete for 5th place. Lin Moyu knew that Chu Xiong wasn't Wei Bowen's match, so 5th place should go to Wei Bowen. As for Shui Xilan and Shui Xing had always been Shui Xilan's follower and wouldn't compete with her. Most likely, Shui Xing would concede, giving Shui Xilan 7th place. Although they didn't make it to the top 3, it was still a very good result for the Black Tortoise Star domain. Many observers had already analyzed the likely outcomes. The most anticipated match in the final round was between Qing Fei and Dongfang Zhe. The other matches were less interesting. Soon, the final round began. At the start of the battle, Zhuang Bai immediately conceded, giving Lin Moyu the first place and taking the second place himself. The top 2 spots were taken by contestants from the Vermilion Bird Star domain, marking a highlight moment for the domain. Zhu Tian's face beamed with pride, the happiest he had been since becoming the domain lord. At his level, aside from the unattainable beyond realm, reputation was the most important thing. This time, the Vermilion Bird Star domain taking the top 2 spots in the 4-star domains competition was a true highlight. In contrast, Bai Binger's face was the most sullen, as the 2 contestants from the White Tiger Star domain had been eliminated early, not even making it to the top 8. Wu De chuckled, satisfied that the Black Tortoise Star domain had 2 contestants in the top 8, even if they were the last 2. Yi Qingxian was also in a good mood.
Qing Fei has great potential and is worth nurturing.
Zhu Tian laughed.
It's hard to say if Qing Fei will remain in the White Tiger Star domain.
Seeing the interactions between Qing Fei and Zhuang Bai, the 4 domain lords knew what was going on. Yi Qingxian snorted.
Qing Fei doesn't have to marry out. Our Azure Dragon Star domain allows for matrilocal residence.
Zhu Tian shook his head.
Zhuang Bai is from the Zhuang family, whose ancestor was a hall master of the war god Hall. Such a person wouldn't marry into another family.
Yi Qingxian retorted.
Qing Fei is also from the Qing family, not much inferior to the Zhuang family.
The 2 old men argued, neither willing to back down. Bai Binger and Wu De were used to this and didn't pay much attention. 1555 Chapter 1555. Alcohol disrupts calm. Situation in Divine City. In the final round of the competition, the most exciting match was indeed between Qing Fei and Dongfang Zhe. They fought fiercely, with Qing Fei initially not using the violent sword, relying solely on her own strength to clash with Dongfang Zhe. Both unleashed their spells, resulting in an incredibly intense battle. Their strengths were evenly matched, making it difficult to determine a winner for a while. Qing Fei, hailing from the Azure Dragon Star domain, showcased the characteristics of its cultivators. Her aggressive attacks made countless spectators feel as if they were being cut by her sword energy just by watching the match. Even Dongfang Zhe found it challenging to fully unleash his power against Qing Fei's relentless assault. However, his strength was undeniable. Despite being suppressed, he managed to maintain a balanced state. The situation reversed when Dongfang Zhe summoned the Law Star River, overwhelming Qing Fei. The Law Star River's power exceeded the minor god sovereign level, and Qing Fei, despite her best efforts, couldn't withstand it. Just when everyone thought Dongfang Zhe would secure the final victory, Qing Fei used the violent sword. With the tenfold amplification from the violent sword, Qing Fei's combat power barely touched the threshold of the god sovereign realm. Relying on the violent sword and her fierce attacks, Qing Fei ultimately won and secured 3rd place. The battle between Wei Bowen and Chu Xiong had no surprises. Chu Xiong was indeed slightly inferior to Wei Bowen. After a fierce battle, Wei Bowen emerged victorious, taking 5th place. The rankings for the top 8 were finalized, marking the official end of the 4-star domains competition. Next, they awaited the Human Emperor Network to announce the final overall rankings, which would determine the rewards. However, the overall rankings wouldn't be announced immediately. They would be revealed the next day. Everyone returned to the competition city and gathered by the lake in front of Lin Moyu's house. Su Jianxing took the initiative to catch fish and started grilling them. With the competition over, everyone visibly relaxed. Shui Xilan and Qing Fei brought out fine wines from different star domains for everyone to taste. Among the group, Su Jianxing's ranking was still uncertain, and he was visibly anxious. For those outside the top 16, the final ranking would be determined by the Human Emperor Network based on their overall performance. Different rankings would affect the rewards they received. As they ate grilled fish and drank wine, they discussed the possible rewards. According to the standards of previous 4-star domains competitions, the most important reward was the qualification to enter Divine City. This qualification did not include seed players who either already had the qualification, were from Divine City, or were from the War God Hall. They didn't need this entry qualification. Excluding the seed players, the top 100 would receive the qualification to enter Divine City. If someone in the top 100 already had the qualification, they would receive additional Divine City merits. Seed players would also receive Divine City merits based on their rankings. Su Jianxing, being from Divine City, was most knowledgeable about Divine City merits. Having drunk too much, his handsome face flushed, he explained,
In Divine City, the most important thing is rank. Starting from the unranked outer personnel, there are primary, intermediate, and advanced ranks. To advance in rank, you need Divine City merits and to complete certain promotion tasks. Promotion tasks are very difficult and dangerous. Failure can result in death. Many people have enough merits but don't dare to take on the tasks. But if you don't advance, even with merits, you can't buy many good things. So many people prefer to train outside Divine City to earn points and buy supplies.
Zhuang Bai was puzzled.
If the promotion tasks are so difficult, can't you wait until your cultivation level is higher to do them?
Tasks that a god king couldn't complete might become easier for a minor god sovereign. If even a minor god sovereign couldn't do it, surely a god sovereign could. Su Jianxing, drinking more wine, replied,
It's useless. Promotion tasks are linked to your cultivation level. The higher your level, the harder the tasks. Like Dong Fanzai, he wants to complete his rank promotion before becoming a god sovereign. If he waits until after, the tasks will only get harder.
Chu Xiong remarked,
Promotion tasks that scale with your level. This setup really leaves no room for survival.
Lin Moyu quietly said.
It's a selection process.
Zhuang Bai added.
Survival of the fittest.
Qing Fei slowly uttered.
Natural selection. Survival of the fittest.
Although Su Jianxing only shared a bit of information, everyone could sense that the rules in Divine City were even more brutal. There was no protection from the Human Emperor network. In fact, outside Divine City, once you reach level 5 permissions, the Human Emperor network no longer provides deliberate protection. With level 5 permissions, you can freely move in any area outside Divine City and take on many tasks, some of which are not within the human star domain. The danger level is equally high. The difference is that level 5 tasks can be freely chosen, while promotion tasks are assigned by Divine City. Naturally, promotion tasks are more dangerous. But in Divine City, if you don't advance in rank, you might be better off outside. According to Su Jianxing, the primary and intermediate ranks are a dividing line. Starting from the intermediate rank, you can truly enjoy the various resources of Divine City, which are incomparable to the outside world. Overall, if you have no rank in Divine City and are just an outer personnel, you might be better off outside. If you reach the primary rank, it's comparable to the outside world. Starting from the intermediate rank, you surpass the outside world. However, advancing in rank is very difficult and dangerous, leading many to give up. Su Jianxing, drinking more, said,
You all should have heard of the human race divine path.
Chu Xiong, also a bit drunk, mumbled,
Of course, who hasn't heard of it?
The human race divine path is the highest existence in the human race. If everyone aspires to enter Divine City, the ultimate goal is to step onto the human race divine path. Zhuang Bai said,
It's said that no one has stepped onto the human race divine path for tens of thousands of years.
Su Jianxing, holding a wine jug, said,
No, that's not accurate. In fact, every time the human race divine path opens, many people attempt it. Everyone.
Su Jianxing paused, burped, and exhaled a lot of alcohol.
Everyone has failed.
Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat.
Everyone? Including Xiao Zhantian?
Su Jianxing nodded, and everyone felt a chill. What kind of path was the human race divine path that even Xiao Zhantian couldn't succeed? Su Jianxing then shook his head.
I don't know. I'm talking about everyone in the past 10,000 years. I'm just a primary rank. I can only access limited information. To know more, you need to advance in rank. I'm just a primary rank. When I advanced from outer personnel to primary rank, I almost lost my life. The task was too difficult. I think I was just lucky to be born in Divine City. If I were outside, I probably wouldn't have made it into Divine City.
Su Jianxing, drunk, shared a lot about Divine City. These were things they would learn after entering Divine City. Su Jianxing was only a primary rank, so his knowledge was limited. But knowing earlier would help them prepare mentally. For example, they learned that to leave Divine City, you need to take a special worship which requires Divine City merits. Without enough merits, you can't leave. Many outer personnel can't leave and have to stay in Divine City to earn merits. In previous years, many people chose to delay entering Divine City after learning this. After all, the qualification to enter Divine City doesn't expire. 1556 1556. Chapter 1556. Come over, let's chat. The next day, the Human Emperor Network announced the rankings and rewards for this 4-star domains competition as scheduled. First place, Lin Moyu, reward of 200 Divine City merits. Second place, Zhuang Bai, reward of 150 Divine City merits. Third place, Qing Fei, reward of 100 Divine City merits. Fifth place, Wei Bowen, reward of 30 Divine City merits. Starting from 5th place to 8th place, the reward was 30 Divine City merits. From 9th to 16th place, each received 20 Divine City merits. After the top 16 up to the 100th place, if they were seed players, they would be rewarded 10 Divine City merits. Among these people, about half were not seed players but came from the 4-star domains. For those who already had the qualification to enter Divine City, they received 10 Divine City merits like the seed players. If they did not originally have the qualification to enter Divine City, then the Divine City merit reward was reduced to 5, with the additional qualification to enter Divine City. In other words, the qualification to enter Divine City was worth 5 Divine City merits. This also indirectly showed how precious Divine City merits were. Next were the rewards after the 100th place. From 100th to 199th place, the reward became 5 Divine City merits. If they did not have the qualification to enter Divine City, they were directly given the qualification, without even receiving the 5 Divine City merits. In the top 199 places, after excluding the 99 seed players, it was exactly 100 people. Su Jianxing was fortunate to rank 198th. Although he was eliminated in the first round, due to his decent performance in the subsequent matches, his ranking changed. The Human Emperor Network would consider each person's cultivation realm, and Su Jianxing was almost the lowest among all the contestants, which became a bonus for him. Seeing his ranking, Su Jianxing couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief.
At least I didn't embarrass Divine City.
Lin Moyu smiled.
Good, you've completed your Divine City mission and earned an extra 10 merits.
Su Jianxing was stunned, then exclaimed,
Lin Shixiang, how did you know I took a mission?
Chu Xiong Lao Gek Lao Li.
Not just him, we all know. Ah?
Lin Moyu said.
You told us yourself when you were drunk yesterday.
Su Jianxing immediately made a bitter face.
Alas, how embarrassing. Actually, I shouldn't have taken this mission.
Zhuang Bai came over and patted his shoulder.
The reason you took this mission, you explained it yesterday. In my opinion, being able to take this mission is a kind of courage.
Chu Xiong said.
You said yesterday when you were drunk that you shouldn't have come to participate in the 4-star domains competition, and the reason you did was twofold. One was a trial from your family, as the 4-star domains competition is on your family's trial list. 2 was that you took a mission. In Divine City, there's a peculiar notion that the simpler a mission is, the fewer people want to do it. The safer a mission is, the more it's looked down upon. If someone does it, they're even looked down upon. The competition in Divine City is much fiercer than outside. The safer the mission, the fewer Divine City merits it rewards, and the less respected it is. Many people feel that if you take an extremely safe mission, you're a coward. But Su Jianxing still took it, for the sake of 10 merits. He convinced himself using the family trial at the time. But after taking the mission, the pressure on him became even greater. He suddenly realized that if he took the mission but failed to complete it, that would be even more embarrassing. In the eyes of others, it's a trash mission that no one wants to take. You not only took it but also failed to complete it. That's truly embarrassing to the core. Fortunately, he completed the mission this time. The requirement of the mission was to obtain Divine City merits in the 4-star domains competition. In other words, Su Jianxing needed to rank in the top 200. However, with Su Jianxing's cultivation realm, ranking in the top 200 was not easy. Throughout the competition, Su Jianxing never mentioned it, only saying it was a family trial. But the mental pressure he was under was not small.
After Su Jianxing's explanation, everyone understood the whole story. But Lin Moyu still had doubts in his heart. He felt that Su Jianxing didn't seem like the kind of person who would take this mission for just 10 Divine City merits. Didn't Su Jianxing care about face? There might be deeper reasons behind it, but Lin Moyu didn't ask further. It might involve Su Jianxing's secrets. Zhuang Bai said in a low voice,
Regardless, you've completed the mission and earned 10 merits.
Chu Xiong also spoke up.
Don't mind what others say, Divine City merits are real and solid. If anyone dares to talk nonsense, just slap them and shut them up. Wait until I enter Divine City. I'll see who dares to bully you. I'll beat them up one by one.
Chu Xiong puffed out his chest, boasting arrogantly. Su Jianxing was also infected by Chu Xiong's arrogance. Regaining his smile, Lin Moyu laughed lightly.
If you have any difficulties, just tell me. There are many things I should be able to help with.
Su Jianxing nodded for fail.
He knew Lin Moyu's promise was not a joke. Now, even before entering Divine City, Lin Moyu already had 300 Divine City merits. That was more than many elders in Divine City. Add to that Lin Moyu's strength, and he would undoubtedly become a great figure in Divine City in the future. Su Jianxing felt that the luckiest thing for him in recent years was meeting Lin Moyu. If it weren't for Lin Moyu giving him a large number of magical treasures, he wouldn't have been able to achieve a good enough ranking in the preliminary rounds.
Su Jianxing sincerely thanked Lin Moyu.
Lin Shixiang, I really owe you a lot this time.
Lin Moyu smiled and accepted his gratitude. After the 199th place, those without the qualification to enter Divine City didn't receive Divine City merits. Their rewards became points instead. The points gradually decreased from 10 million to only 1 million at the end. The rewards for all participants formed a huge list, and everyone could check the specific information. The Human Emperor Network tried its best to be fair and just. If anyone had any opinions, they had to swallow them and not voice them. After the 4-star domains competition ended, one warship after another arrived at the competition city to pick up the spectators. After transporting the spectators away, more warships arrived, this time to pick up the contestants. The competition was over, and everyone returned to their respective places and families. All the contestants who obtained the qualification to enter Divine City received information from the Human Emperor Network. They could choose to enter Divine City immediately or wait for some time before entering Divine City. According to Su Jianxing, Divine City was not always open. Every 30 days, Divine City would open once. If they wanted to go, they could go to any of the number 1 stars in the 4-star domains, where there was a transmission formation. Those with the qualification to enter Divine City could activate the transmission formation and enter Divine City. Of course, the process was not as simple as Su Jianxing described. It was just a rough outline. Su Jianxing was going to return to Divine City. He said in a low voice,
Shixiangs and Shixies, what have you all decided?
After some discussion, none of them wanted to enter Divine City immediately. Whether it was Qing Fei or Zhuang Bai, everyone had their own families. They still had some matters to handle in their families. Only Lin Moyu was alone without a family. Whether to enter Divine City or not didn't matter much to Lin Moyu. He could always leave even after entering, as he had 300 Divine City merits, enough to enter and exit several times. Thinking about it, it seemed like there was no problem with going to Divine City to take a look. However, Lin Moyu also wanted to visit the other few star domains and the outside world. He also wondered where Lin Moyu had gone and whether she had successfully ascended to the God-Sovereign realm. Suddenly, space distorted, and a black shadow appeared beside them. The shadow's appearance was unclear, but everyone recognized him. It was the Beyond Realm existence who had been with the 4 domain lords. Everyone simultaneously paid their respects.
Greetings, Senior.
Su Jianxing's expression changed drastically, and he immediately knelt down.
This unfilial disciple pays respects to the ancestor.
The Su family ancestor glanced at Su Jianxing.
Not bad.
After speaking, he beckoned to Lin Moyu.
Come over, let's chat.
1557, 1557. Chapter 1557. Our era is not inferior.
Lin Moyu, I will take you away. Follow the rules,
said Su Laozu, leaving a message. Black light enveloped Lin Moyu, and the two disappeared. Several people exchanged glances. Zhuang Bai looked at Su Jianxing, who had just gotten up from the ground, and asked,
Is that your family's ancestor? Yes.
Su Jianxing nodded, his eyes filled with excitement. He had just been praised by his family's ancestor, which made him very excited. He knew his family's situation well. Su Laozu was extremely strict and rarely praised anyone. Receiving his praise was a significant affirmation. Su Laozu was a legend in the Su family. Su Jianxing had grown up hearing stories about him. The tall and majestic image of Su Laozu had long been rooted in his heart. Chu Xiong asked,
Su Shidi, what realm is your ancestor in? Could it be?
Su Jianxing not that Vigorusin.
The ancestor reached the Beyond Realm a long time ago.
Chu Xiong showed a surprised expression.
The Beyond Realm, huh? I wonder if I will ever reach it in my lifetime.
Then he noticed that neither Zhuang Bai, Qing Fei, nor Shui Xilan showed any surprise. Chu Xiong asked curiously,
Old Zhuang, aren't you surprised?
Zhuang Bai said,
When Su Laozu appeared with the 4 domain lords, I guessed he was in the Beyond Realm.
Zhuang Bai came from the Zhuang family, which had its own heritage. Although his family had never produced a Beyond Realm expert, they knew something about realms above the God-Sovereign level. Chu Xiong looked at Qing Fei and Shui Xilan.
Did you two guess it too?
Qing Fei nodded, and Shui Xilan said softly,
There are records in my sect. The 4 domain lords were clearly very respectful to Su Laozu, so I guessed his identity.
Chu Xiong scratched his head.
So I was the only one who didn't guess.
Zhuang Bi left.
That's because you don't like to use your brain. I wonder what Su Laozu wants to talk to Lin Shidi about.
Qing Fei said,
Do you remember the senior who sent us here?
Zhuang Bi nodded.
He was also in the Beyond Realm. His aura was very similar to Su Laozu's.
Qing Fei continued,
When we first arrived in the competition city, Lin Shidi and Han Xianzi arrived a bit later than us. They were probably held back by that senior.
According to Qing Fei, Lin Moyu had already had contact with a Beyond Realm expert. So this time, there was no need to worry about Su Laozu meeting Lin Moyu. Chu Xiong tilted his head.
Do you think Su Laozu might want to take Lin Shidi as a disciple?
The others thought about it and realized it wasn't impossible. Lin Moyu's performance was outstanding enough to impress even a Beyond Realm expert. A familiar aura greeted Lin Moyu as he once again saw the ancient and majestic palace. The faint aroma of tea wafted over, entering his nostrils and reaching his soul, making his entire being feel relaxed.
Tao Tea.
This was a top-grade tea even higher than enlightenment tea. The same simple tea table was there, with Lin Lao and Hao Shengzuan sitting beside it, seemingly chatting. Lady Yu had already left. His sister was also not present.
Come and sit.
Su Laozu led Lin Moyu over.
Lin Lao chúc cơ.
Old Su, did you find any good seedlings this time?
The black aura around Su Laozu gradually dissipated, revealing his true appearance. An elderly man with white hair and a serious expression. His appearance bore a 5 or 6 point resemblance to Su Qingyang. Combined with Su Jianxing's earlier reaction, Lin Moyu already knew his identity. Su Qingyang's grandfather, the Su family ancestor. Lin Moyu had once accepted a private mission from him, successfully rescuing Su Qingyang, who had been trapped in the Nether Swamp for 1,000 years. Although they had never interacted directly, they had some connection. At that time, Lin Moyu was still very weak. Even now, his strength was still inferior, but purely on a soul level they were on the same level. 2 more teacups appeared on the tea table, and the teapot automatically flew up, pouring new tea into the cups. Lin Moyu then noticed that the teapot was actually a magical treasure, at least at the God-Sovereign level, and it had developed intelligence. A God-Sovereign level magical treasure with a spirit, just used for making tea. If this got out, it would be enough to make many God-Sovereigns feel disoriented. Last time, he hadn't noticed this detail, which was a real oversight. After Su Laozu sat down, he directly said,
I brought the champion.
Hao Shengzuan smiled.
Lin Xiaoyu winning the championship was expected.
He wasn't surprised at all. He knew Lin Moyu's combat power very well. Not to mention that the strongest opponents were only minor God-Sovereigns. Even if God-Sovereigns participated, they might not be able to defeat Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked,
Shengzuan, where is my sister?
Hao Shengzuan replied,
There was a little accident.
Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
Please explain, Shengzuan. Han Xianzi's talent is too strong. Combined with Dao Ti, it produced incredible effects. Your sister not only advanced to God Sovereign but might continue to break through, reaching above the 3rd tier of God Sovereign. Lady Yu has already taken your sister to the Divine City for seclusion. It might take some time.
Advancing to God Sovereign and directly reaching above the 3rd tier. Such a thing was hard to believe. Cultivation breakthroughs have always been methodical and traceable. Lin Muhan's leapfrog advancement was unprecedented. Su Laozu, who had just arrived, was also surprised. He didn't know the follow-up events.
Lin Lao Sai,
A 36-year-old God Sovereign. Saying it out loud might scare a few people to death.
Hao Shengzuan smiled.
Even in ancient times, there was never a 36-year-old God Sovereign.
Su Laozu's eyes flickered.
As far as I know, the fastest person to advance to God Sovereign in ancient times was over 100 years old.
Hao Shengzuan provided a more accurate number.
108 years old.
Su Lao Yu nốt đét.
Generally speaking, ancient God Sovereigns were mostly between 300 and 500 years old. A God Sovereign under 100 years old was already considered a top genius.
Lin Moyu listened in shock. Were ancient cultivators really that strong? Most God Sovereigns were between 300 and 500 years old. Looking at the current era, most 300-year-old cultivators were still at the true God realm, far from reaching God Sovereign.
Lin Lao Lao Ghét.
Now Han Xianzi has broken the ancient record, and there's also Lin Xiaoyu, showing that our era is not inferior.
Su Lao Ru Snot.
Far from it. That era was so glorious and splendid. Compared to them, we are just a pile of garbage.
He then turned to Hao Shengzuan.
Shengzuan, have you made any progress in exploring ancient times?
Hao Shengzuan shook his head.
So far, not much progress.
Su Lao Yu Sai.
Is there really no way?
Hao Shengzuan shook his head.
It's hard to say if there's a way. We can only say we still have hope.
As he spoke, he looked at Lin Moyu, and Lin Lao also looked at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu suddenly realized something. The conversation among these beyond realm experts was not random. It had deeper meaning, possibly related to him. Lin Moyu said,
Shengzuan, if you have any instructions, please feel free to tell me.
Hao Shengzuan finally shook his head.
Your current strength is still not enough. When you reach God Sovereign, or even the Beyond Realm, you can then deal with those matters. But we can inform you in advance about some things. There are some things you will have to face in the future.
1558 1558. Chapter 1558. Strength that can determine fate. The magnificent and ancient palace was flying rapidly towards Divine City. The space around the palace was completely distorted, and time and space felt chaotic. Their speed far exceeded the speed of light by an unknown number of times. This was a mode of travel Lin Moyu had never seen before. It didn't seem like teleportation, nor did it resemble space jumping. It seemed to have something to do with space laws, but at the same time it didn't. One could say that this mode of travel was too advanced for him to understand. Lin Moyu stood on the palace square, feeling this incomprehensible mode of travel, his mind churning with the words how Shengzuan had said earlier. How Shengzuan had shared some ancient secrets with him, giving Lin Moyu a deeper understanding of ancient times. The outline of the ancient era became more vivid and detailed in his mind. According to Hao Shengzuan, the ancient era was a time of extremely prosperous cultivation, far more prosperous than the present. In that era, god-sovereigns were very common, and there were many beings who had reached the beyond realm. There were also many terrifying existences that surpassed the beyond realm. Cultivation was like a pyramid. The higher you went, the harder it became, and the fewer people there were. Just from the number of god-sovereigns, one could infer how strong the ancient era was. At that time, if someone broke through to god-sovereign after the age of 1000, they were considered mediocre. Most people typically broke through to god-sovereign before the age of 700. Breaking through at the age of 500 was considered a genius. Breaking through at the age of 300 was considered a top-tier genius. In the present day, breaking through to god-sovereign before the age of 3000 was considered quite good. Since then, the number of cultivators drastically decreased, the speed of cultivation significantly slowed, and countless secret techniques were lost. It was as if the entire world had changed. The post-ancient era and the current era were both like this. Moreover, they faced an even more severe problem. Hao Shengzuan didn't elaborate on this problem because they couldn't fully confirm it yet. Hao Shengzuan's exact words were,
"I can't mislead you with uncertain information."
He hoped Lin Moyu would find the answer himself in the future. Lin Moyu understood this. He also asked about the levels beyond the beyond realm. Hao Shengzuan's expression became extremely complex, and he said,
"That is a level that cannot be described in words. Only by reaching that level can one understand it."
In other words, even he didn't know. During their conversation, Lin Moyu also learned that there were such existences among the human race. However, due to some special reasons, these beings had all disappeared. Where they went, whether they were hiding somewhere or for some other reason, Hao Shengzuan didn't know. Not only the human race, but other powerful races also had similar beings. They too had disappeared. In the current great world, the strongest beings openly known were those at the beyond realm. However, there were significant differences even among those at the beyond realm. Hao Shengzuan was a strong figure among them, earning the title of Shengzuan. Meanwhile, Lady Yu, Lin Lao, and Su Laozu were at the initial stage of the beyond realm. This made Lin Moyu realize that cultivation within the beyond realm was even more challenging. Each step forward could bring about earth-shattering changes. The differences between each level within the beyond realm were even greater than the differences between god-sovereigns and god-kings.
The path of cultivation is endless. It's like rowing a boat upstream. You must forge ahead. Since I have come here, I must keep moving forward, reaching the end, possessing the strength to determine fate.
The end he envisioned was different from what others imagined. For almost everyone in the Great World, the end was mastering the Great World Rune. But the Great World Rune had already been broken. Since the Great World Rune could be broken, it meant it wasn't the true end. Lin Moyu wanted to see what level the being who broke the Great World Rune had reached.
Perhaps that is the true end. I must reach it.
Lin Moyu felt a surge of ambition. His soul extended a hand, gently touching the sleeping coffin, as if he could feel the warmth of his 4 beloved wives from it. After flying a long distance, the palace finally slowed down. The distorted space gradually returned to normal, and the sense of chaos disappeared. Layers of mist peeled away, revealing a vast and prosperous star domain. Divine City was not just a city. It was a gigantic and incredibly prosperous star domain, just like the 4 major star domains. It contained countless stars and billions of suns. Countless points of light flickered within, and Lin Moyu could sense its extraordinary nature. Here, the laws were extremely clear, making cultivation much easier. Faintly, it seemed as if countless powerful auras were surging. At some point, Hao Shengzuan appeared beside him, standing shoulder to shoulder with Lin Moyu.
What is your first impression?
Lin Moyu expressed his true thoughts.
Very powerful. Powerful?
Hao Shengzuan chuckled.
Using that word isn't wrong, but most people would say it's very prosperous.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment and, relying on his own feelings, shook his head.
No, I still think powerful is more fitting.
He indeed had this feeling. The entire divine city gave him a sense of immense power. This feeling was indescribable but very real. Hao Shengzuan didn't dwell on the issue.
Divine City used to have other names, such as the human race Divine Domain and the human race Holy Land, but later, the war god renamed it Divine City. Divine City is a star domain, larger than the 4 major star domains combined. Especially the proportion of cultivators within, far surpassing the 4 major star domains. For countless years, countless cultivators who entered Divine City, except those who have died, have been cultivating and living within it. They improve their strength in Divine City, give birth to descendants, establish families, or create sections. Every star system in Divine City has a large family. Perhaps in the future, you will also establish your own family or force in Divine City. With your military honor title, forming a force will be extremely easy.
Hao Shengzuan treated Lin Moyu as a peer and had high hopes for him, so he was very patient with him. If it were someone else, Hao Shengzuan wouldn't bother to say much, given his status. Lin Moyu asked,
Outside of Divine City, it seems no one talks about what happens inside.
Hao Shengzuan explained,
That's restricted. The Human Emperor Network doesn't allow it. Even if someone mentions it, the Human Emperor Network will erase the traces.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
For the sake of mystery?
Hao Shengzuan laughed.
You're very smart. Mystery is indeed one reason, but there are other reasons too. You'll naturally understand these things in the future. For now, we're still far from Divine City. Let me introduce you to the surroundings.
Hao Shengzuan spoke about the surroundings of Divine City, not the city itself, which surprised Lin Moyu. Hao Shengzuan pointed to a location outside Divine City, where there was a brilliant columnar nebula. The nebula emitted a hazy light, with countless colors intertwined, making it extremely dazzling. Compared to Divine City, the nebula was very small. If Divine City were an adult, the nebula would be no larger than half a finger of that adult, perhaps even smaller. But Lin Moyu knew that the nebula was actually very large. Hao Shengzuan pointed to the nebula and said solemnly,
That is an ancient relic. We call it the finger relic.
1559, 1559. Chapter 1559. That is the little finger of an ancient strongman. The finger relic. An ancient site. Lin Moyu's heart trembled slightly. Any place related to ancient times was never simple. The mysterious manor in the battlefield, the ancient tomb, the nether swamp, and the Tulu world. None of them were simple. Each one was deadly, and next to Divine City, there was actually an ancient site of such a large scale. The palace changed its flight direction, and gradually, Lin Moyu saw the side of the nebula. From the side, the columnar nebula looked more like a finger. Hao Shengzuan said,
When you were in the Vermilion Bird battlefield, you visited several places related to ancient times. Although those places were related to ancient times, they were not very dangerous. But the ancient site is different. The ancient site is extremely dangerous. Even if we go in, we might not come out.
Lin Moyu was once again shocked. It was actually that dangerous. The places he had visited, although related to ancient times, were not very dangerous for those at the Beyond Realm. Perhaps the Tulu world was dangerous, but those at the Beyond Realm couldn't enter, so the danger was nullified. But the ancient site next to Divine City was actually so dangerous? Originally, he had wanted to take a look, but now he immediately extinguished his curiosity. Hao Shengzuan knew what Lin Moyu was thinking.
You will definitely go to the ancient site in the future, but not now. What I want to tell you is that the reason Divine City is located here is partly related to the ancient site. What do you think the ancient site looks like?
What does the ancient site look like? Lin Moyu instinctively said.
A finger.
Hao Shengzuan laughed out loud, very satisfied with Lin Moyu's answer.
Yes, it's a finger, and it's a little finger.
Following Hao Shengzuan's words, the more he looked, the more it looked like a little finger, and it was indeed a human little finger. Then Lin Moyu was suddenly shocked. How big must a person be to have such a large little finger? If the little finger was this big, how big would the person be? Hao Shengzuan continued to explain.
This ancient site is about 10 light-years wide and 70 light-years long. We tried to calculate that if we use the normal human ratio, with a little finger this big, the person's height would be over 1,500 light-years. Isn't it hard to imagine that a person could grow to 1,500 light-years?
Lin Moyu was indeed a bit shocked. This was beyond his imagination. How could a person be so big? 1,500 light-years. How many star systems could that contain? Such a person wouldn't just crush stars. Ordinary stars would be like a strand of hair to them. A casual brush could destroy a star or even a star system. With a bit of shock, Lin Moyu asked. Hao Shengzuan became serious.
This should be a terrifying existence that has surpassed the beyond realm. Such an existence is beyond our understanding.
Lin Moyu said.
So you said before that it is an indescribable, incredible existence.
Hao Shengzuan nodded seriously.
Such an existence can be very large, very small, real, or illusory. What it is exactly, only when you reach that level can you know.
Lin Moyu nodded, now fully understanding Hao Shengzuan's words. Hao Shengzuan continued.
As for this ancient site, we have been exploring it for the past hundreds of thousands of years and have gathered a lot of information. We can basically confirm that the powerful existence died in battle, and a severed finger was left here. Originally, such an existence could regenerate from a drop of blood. Even a severed finger would be enough for them to resurrect. But their enemy was very strong and completely annihilated them from the root. The severed finger left behind is just a shape. The flesh and blood inside have long since collapsed. However, the power within the severed finger has not dissipated. After countless years of evolution, it has become what it is now.
The powerful force, intertwined with various laws, produced changes, evolving into all sorts of strange things. Lin Moyu was not unfamiliar with such things. He had seen many similar occurrences on the battlefield. The stronger the force, the stranger the things it evolved into, making them incomprehensible. One could imagine how terrifying the things in this ancient site would be. It was left behind by an existence that surpassed the beyond realm. Even a single hair from such an existence could kill him. Hao Shengzuan reminded him again.
At least wait until you reach the peak of the God-sovereign realm before you consider exploring it.
Lin Moyu nodded, indicating he understood. He was curious, very curious, but he wasn't stupid. He wouldn't do something that was clearly suicidal. The palace continued to approach Divine City, which was rapidly enlarging in his vision, and the finger relic was also enlarging. Although the palace had slowed down, it was still faster than a teleportation array. The powerful aura of Divine City became more and more apparent, and Lin Moyu finally understood where this sense of power came from. There were extremely powerful formations enveloping Divine City. The formations were not just one but countless, numbering in the billions, surrounding the entire Divine City and the entire star domain. So any enemy trying to approach would be ruthlessly attacked by the formations. Moreover, the formations were interconnected, extremely powerful. Behind the formations was an extremely prosperous star domain, with the light of the stars becoming increasingly bright. At the current speed, it would still take some time for the palace to truly enter Divine City. There was no teleportation array that could directly enter Divine City. One could only fly in. Hao Shengzuan continued.
You will naturally learn the specific information about Divine City when you get there. Whether you ask people or check the information on the Human Emperor Network, you can understand. In Divine City, there are also some special places. If you want to take on tasks in Divine City, remember to act within your means.
Lin Moyu responded with a sound, indicating he understood. For the sake of his life, he wouldn't act recklessly. Hao Shengzuan suddenly changed the topic.
I have a question, and I hope you can answer it honestly.
His tone suddenly became serious, and Lin Moyu knew it must be something important.
Please go ahead.
Hao Shengzuan looked at Lin Moyu and asked seriously.
During the competition, did you see something?
Lin Moyu directly admitted.
I saw a rune formed by soul fire.
Hao Shengzuan's eyes flashed with a sharp light.
As Su Laozu said, you indeed discovered it. Tell me your thoughts.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I don't have enough knowledge to have any profound thoughts. No problem, just speak your mind. The formation creates living beings, and the rune provides wisdom. The rune is formed by soul fire, and the soul fire comes from the souls of strong beings from various races. Although it succeeded, I think this is not the right path. This rune formed by soul fire seems incomplete. It shouldn't be used this way.
Hao Shengzuan listened to Lin Moyu's analysis, his eyes flashing with brilliance.
It seems you have quite a bit of research on runes.
Lin Moyu shook his head.
I don't understand runes. It's just a feeling.
Hao Shengzuan laughed. Not understanding but having a feeling was even better than understanding runes. It showed that Lin Moyu truly had a talent in this area.
Your intuition is very sharp, which is a good thing. If you have the opportunity in the future, you can try to study runes. There is a lot of information about runes in Divine City that you might find interesting.
1560. Chapter 1560. Don't teach him. Let him learn on his own. The palace wasn't flying directly towards Divine City. It seemed to have a fixed route, circling around Divine City and gradually approaching. Lin Moyu's speed was still very fast, but the space-time distortion wasn't severe, and he could roughly see the full view of Divine City. This star domain had obvious signs of human activity. On the outermost edge, tens of billions of stars were densely arranged, forming the first line of defense for Divine City. Behind the stars, Lin Moyu saw a large number of warships, all at the God-Sovereign level. Each warship, although not as powerful as a God-Sovereign, could still contend with one when combined with an army. If hundreds of warships surrounded a God-Sovereign, it wasn't impossible to kill one. Of course, this assumed the God-Sovereign fought to the death and wasn't too strong. For a peak God-Sovereign like Zhu Tian, sheer numbers wouldn't be enough to kill him. The warships formed the second line of defense. After that were the war god fortresses. These fortresses were mostly replicas, stronger than the warships but fewer in number. Even so, there were still millions of them, enough to make one's scalp tingle. The true strength of the human race was finally revealed, and Lin Moyu was amazed. He realized that the wars he had experienced before were child's play. At least 90% of the human race's strength was hidden within Divine City, never shown to the outside world. However, Lin Moyu also realized a possibility. If the human race could hide their strength like this, what about other races? The powerful races that once invaded the human race's territory and attacked Divine City, could their strength be any less? It seemed that no race was simple, and in the face of Beyond Realm experts, all the strength seemed insignificant. At the Beyond Realm level, numbers lost their meaning. If they were even stronger, a giant over 1,000 light-years tall could crush an entire star domain with a single slap. What meaning would numbers have then?
Supreme power! We still need supreme power!
On the other side of the palace, Su Laozu asked.
What did he say?
Su Laozu was asking about the soul fire rune. He had shared his findings with Hao Shengzuan. Hao Shengzuan said,
He doesn't understand runes, but he is very sensitive to them. What do you mean?
Su Laozu asked.
He said there's something wrong with the soul fire rune. Using soul fire to drive it might not be the correct method.
How Xingzuan conveyed Lin Moyu's feelings.
Su Lao Yu Chamber.
He actually saw through it. Does he really not understand runes?
How Shangzuan shook his head.
He didn't lie. He truly doesn't understand.
Su Lao Yu Mu Mut.
He doesn't understand runes, yet he can see the problem within them. He has a natural sensitivity to runes.
His eyes shone brightly.
He's a genius in runes. I want to take him as a disciple and teach him ancient runes.
How Shangzuan waved his hand to stop Su Laozu.
No.
Su Laozu was puzzled.
Why not?
How Shangzuan said.
I told him that if he's interested in runes, he can study them on his own. You must not teach him.
Su Laozu's eyes widened.
Even though you are Xingzuan, you should be reasonable. Don't be anxious.
How Shangzuan said with a smile. A teacup flew into Su Laozu's hand, and the teapot automatically poured tea for him. How Shangzuan said slowly.
Do you think your research on ancient runes is absolutely correct?
Su Lao Ru Snot.
Of course. Oh?
How Shangzuan smiled, looking at him. Su Laozu showed a hint of guilt.
90% of it is correct. A miss by a millimeter is as good as a mile.
How Shangzuan's voice softened, but Su Laozu couldn't refute it. Indeed, he had deep research into ancient runes. The soul fire rune was his creation. But his research might not be entirely correct. If he taught Lin Moyu and passed on incorrect ideas, it wouldn't be good. How Shangzuan said.
So let him study on his own and understand by himself. That's the best method.
Su Laozu was still a bit unwilling.
But this will waste a lot of time.
How Shangzuan smiled.
If there's a problem, more time will be wasted. If you want, you can give him your collection of ancient rune materials, but don't mix in your own thoughts.
Su Laozu knew he couldn't argue with How Shangzuan. After thinking for a long time, he finally sighed heavily.
All right, I understand. When he reaches the peak of the God-sovereign realm, I'll let him see those rune materials.
Ancient runes couldn't be studied casually. They required a certain realm. Without sufficient realm, even if one had some understanding, it would be vague and without foundation. In the field of ancient runes, Su Laozu had gone far. Although not entirely correct, his words were still authoritative. The realm was equivalent to the foundation of ancient runes. Without sufficient realm, it was useless to have a high-level understanding. Just like Lin Moyu, who, with his incredible sensitivity, discovered that the soul fire rune wasn't quite right. But he couldn't pinpoint the exact problem, and there were many things he couldn't understand. This was the gap in realm. Su Laozu thought for a moment.
Although I can't teach him runes, there are some things I need to tell him. Don't stop me.
How Shangzuan gestured.
As you wish.
Su Laozu drank the Dao tea in one gulp and walked towards Lin Moyu. With something on his mind, even the Dao tea didn't taste good. Su Laozu took 2 or 3 steps to reach Lin Moyu.
Lin Xiaoyu, I heard you're very interested in runes?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Senior, if I'm not mistaken, the soul fire rune in the competition was arranged by you, right?
Su Laozu was a bit surprised.
How did you know? I sense your aura in the rune.
Lin Moyu replied honestly. Su Laozu couldn't help but marvel.
You're really sensitive to this, being able to sense that.
The rune was indeed his creation, so he was most familiar with it. Lin Moyu's soul had reached the Beyond Realm, but not all Beyond Realm souls could sense his aura. Su Laozu continued.
Runes are a profound subject. You should know about the Great World Rune, right?
Lin Moyu nodded. Any cultivator would know about the Great World Rune. It was common knowledge. Mentioning the Great World Rune, Su Laozu's voice became low.
The Great World Rune is the foundation of our world, its root. No matter what spell or law, they all evolve from the Great World Rune. So studying runes is essentially studying the foundation of this world. If one day you can fully understand the Great World Rune, you might be able to control it and become the master of this world.
His low voice carried a hint of temptation, as if trying to spark Lin Moyu's interest in runes. Unfortunately, Lin Moyu wasn't tempted at all. His will was firm, not swayed by external influences. His interest in runes was purely self-motivated. In fact, Lin Moyu wanted to tell Su Laozu, "You don't need to say all this. Just get to the point." After a few seconds of pause, Su Laozu continued,
Runes are divided into two types. One is the common runes we use now, which are relatively simple and easy to understand. The other is ancient runes, which are much higher in level but very difficult to understand. If you want to learn ancient runes, the best way is to first master common runes and then move on to ancient runes. I have a collection of common rune materials here, which I'll give to you as a gift. When you reach the peak of the God-Sovereign realm, I'll let you see the ancient rune materials.
1561, 1561.